Hi everybody, this is the Baseball Hut, the amazing, spectacular, terrific, the great one, the people's champion, your host, the Hut, and welcome back to the Baseball Hut 2. I hope you like this video and subscribe. So we're going to talk about the playoffs. The playoffs are going on here in Major League Baseball. We have the American League Championship Series. We had Game 3 on Wednesday night. And Bruce Bochy decided to put Max Scherzer out there. Now, he hadn't pitched in a couple weeks, dealing with some injury. And he pitched, well, he's a Hall of Fame pitcher. He's going to be going to the Hall of Fame 6 years after he retires. He's one of the great all-time pitchers of all time. He is one of the best right-handers in the last 30 years. But over the last 2 years, he has pitched measurably in big spots. And there's a reason why he's in Texas. And the reason he's in Texas is because he pitched so poorly for the Mets that the Mets decided to get him the hell out of here, and they traded him to the Rangers for prospect Luis Angel Acuna. Now, his pitching line was fairly similar to all the big games that he's pitched over the past year for the Mets. It's really started with the first game in Atlanta when the Mets needed one win. They needed one win to win the division last year. It's all they needed. They would have won 10 out of 9 against the or would have won 10 games out of 19 games against the Braves. All they needed was one win. All he needed to do was pitch well that Friday night. He didn't even show up. He gave up runs in the first inning, and that was it. And they lost game 2. DeGrom did not pitch well. He pitched a little bit better than Scherzer did, but they didn't win that Friday night. Then we went into the wild card series because the Mets had to play the wild card series because they didn't win that series against the Braves. Or just one win against the Braves. And Scherzer put up another stinker. He gave like 5 home runs. He gave a lot of home runs in that series. And he gave a lot of runs in the first inning. Now, what was different about this game was he gave up runs in the second inning. So there was an improvement. But here's his pitching line. 4 innings with 63 pitches, 5 hits, 5 runs, all earned, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. And now he's brought back the Astros into the series. And it's funny that the very boring John Smoltz said at the end of the game that, normally the number 3 starter will pitch Game 7. Do not pitch him. Bruce Bochy, don't pitch him in Game 7. Go with a committee. You better off putting John Gray in that spot or somebody else. Do not pitch him in that game. Find a way to get Jordan Montgomery to pitch a Game 7. Do not pitch Scherzer again. To be honest with you, he's a mess. He's a mess, to quite frankly. But the last 2 years, and obviously this year, every game the Mets needed to have this year to stave off a losing streak. It just seemed like every game that the Mets needed this year, the first 3 months, he would give up runs in the first inning. That was a big mantra on this Mets team this year. And I blame him more than any other player on this group and this team in 2023 for the reason why they traded him and traded Verlander and traded all these other veteran players. I blame him for the mess that last year was, because this is why they gave him all that money. They gave him $140 million for 3 years. And when they needed him the most, he didn't deliver. And he didn't deliver again last night for the Rangers. It might be he obviously he's done as a big time pitcher, in his career. So that's over with and done with. But it's amusing to see him celebrating a couple. When they beat the series before that, and he was loving it up, yucking it up, and throwing champagne, and his eyes popping out of his head, and everything else. But again, the reason why he's in Texas is because the Mets failed primarily because of bad pitching, bad starting pitching, and bad pitching from him. If they got an ace-like performances out of him in particular, I think this team would have not had all these sell-offs to all these different teams that some of them are still playing. Houston's still playing. They got Justin Verlander. Obviously Texas is still playing. They got Scherzer. Obviously Diamondbacks are still playing. They got Tommy Pham. So Scherzer, more than any other player that the Mets moved, is solely responsible for the Mets' collapse this year, the collapse last year, and now he is doing a great job there and down in Arlington. Oh well, not our problem anymore. So hopefully this Acuna will be a good player, an everyday player who's productive and exciting. So let me know what you think about this video. Of course, please subscribe to the Baseball Hut too, and I'll see you later.